All right, welcome back. It is Q3, week 5, day 3. Today we're going to be very eerie, like Scooby Doo. Zoinks! All right, so the basic goal for today is to build out the ear. So we are going to take the basic shape, extrude it out, and then work on making it look a little more like an ear. All right, and that's the basic concept for today. And we're going to start right away, right here. So first thing I'm going to do is add a material that I can see through so I can have the basic starting point of my ear. Now you'll notice that I am genetically superior to most people because my ear is actually attached at the bottom, where yours unfortunately may not be as awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and build that out more like you poor people with ears that aren't attached, just because that's a little more common for you poor plebeians out there. Anyway, the point is we are going to build that out. Now, in order to do that, we are going to build it out of this section here. So you'll notice that I've already taken these verts and sort of moved them out a little bit to sort of get the basic shape laid out. So we're going to take this section right here and grab that. And we are going to inset that, okay? Just the same way we did before. Actually, I'm going to take that and delete it. And then I'm going to grab the edge there, much like we did our mouth. Hit the scaling tool, which is R, hold shift, and then pull in like this. Alright, what that does is it gives us sort of a smoother transition on what we're going to have there. And then from there, we can use that to build out the rest of our edges. Okay? Cool, cool, cool. So that's the start of it. So once we have that, I'm going to go ahead and cap that. Good. And now I'm going to connect some of these edges. So I'm actually going to go through and connect it. That way we have an idea of how this is going to sort of move out. This is going to be the basis of this. So I'm just going to bring that up like that. This up like here. And this is going to be like this. Like that. Once again, we're just sort of pushing things around to get it closer to the shape of the ear itself. Like that and like this. Alright, cool. Now I'm going to start connecting these. So I'm going to connect those and connect those. Now I'm going to hit the number 2, grab these two edges in the center. I'm going to go to edges and insert 2 verts. So I'm going to push up on there, hit insert 2 verts. Now I can take that. I'm going to connect those. And these are also going to be connected. So now I've sort of got a basis, a basic starting area on where I'm going to export out. Okay, so I'm going to grab all this section. Notice this is inside. It's smaller than the actual ear itself because this is where we're going to extrude from. So we're going to extrude out from there. And I'm going to use my settings. Extrude out from the front view. I'm not going to go crazy. Just looks like 1.7 centimeters for me. Now your ears may stick out more or less, and that's okay. Once that's set, I'm going to click OK, and then I'm going to rotate them a little bit by hitting the E key. Rotate it that way a bit. Oops. So that they face forward. And that's going to give you most of your extension. I'm going to bring it in a little bit as well. Okay? Cool, cool. Alright, great. Now, there's a couple different ways we can take it from here. I'm going to go ahead and grab all of this section here. Oops. I got the shoulder on that. Grab that. And I'm going to extrude that out a little bit. I'm going to go on local normal instead of group. That way, hopefully, it'll go out in an angle I'm happy with. But if it's not, that's okay too. You'll notice this one sort of went in a weird direction. That's alright, we can grab those verts and sort of move them out. Alright, cool. So, like I said, I'm going to actually go through and grab some of these verts that kind of went in a weird way. This will actually be more near the shape of the ear itself, and we can start building that out a little more. And this will be up a bit. And don't worry if it's not, once again, a lot of times we work in generalities at first, so I'm not too concerned if it's not perfect right away because we have time to fix it. Right. Okay. I'm mostly concerned to get the general shape laid out, so we can start squeezing that in a little bit. W, taking that section from the top view. I'm going to squeeze those in together. Same thing with this. Squeeze those in. Cool. And then I can move them together. Using the W key, moving out. I accidentally missed when I tried to grab them. Pull those out like that. Make sure I've got those. Left, zoom, Z for zoom, up like this. At the beginning especially, I'm just trying to get the basic shape, the roundness. So I'm going to need to spend a lot of my geometry just trying to get the roundness of the ear without spending too much geometry. We can add more if we need to, which we will probably need to. Okay. Just to sort of get this in a better spot, I want to grab these two, which are obviously drastically out of place, and I'm going to relax them. Okay, good. That will go there. Those two, they need to come together. These two need to come together. There. There. You see how we're starting to get the basic shape. Top view. W. Cool. In the front, you can sort of see how these are fitting in there. They're going to be the outside edge like that. This section is probably going to have to come in quite a bit. Move it up some. Left. Alright, so this is going to make sure that outside ridge, it's going to be somewhat difficult to see because of the nature of how we've got an inside portion here that will be taken care of like this. This section here is on the inside of the ear. So behind the ear, when you're supposed to wash behind your ears, that's the part we're talking about there. I'm going to move that out to there so it's in better position. There we go. And this can actually come in because this is the inside portion. We can sort of tuck all that in much tighter. Pretty soon we're actually going to go through and make it so that we can see things a little bit better by making setting this up. I'm going to grab a couple and hit Z for zoom, left Z. Alright, now then we can pull out. One thing that you want to sort of focus on is making sure the ridge will be taken care of, and that is the sort of outside ridge of the ear. Move this forward some. We're going to inset that anyway, and you'll see that in a second. Move that up a little bit. Front, left. Move that forward. This sort of up there like that. This will come out like in like that. Make sure that that's out. We don't want that to be stuck in there too much. This can also come in some like that. This is the actual outer portion of the ear that we'll need to bring in. There. Good, good, good. Alright, cool. Now, Z, left. Make sure that's connecting properly. So like I said before, I'm sure you've noticed with extreme jealousy about my attached ear lobe. I will be faking one that's more like yours probably. So that's going to be detached, so it's going to come out like that a little bit. And you can bring that up, and this can come down. Like that. There. Now, left, zoom out a little bit. Alright, so constantly, you'll notice I'm constantly sort of moving around and double checking to make sure things are going to be okay. Now I'm going to grab all 4 of these inner vertexes, and then I'm going to relax them so that they sort of spread out. Okay, so the next big thing we're going to focus on is how we're going to inset. So we're actually going to take this whole intersection, I'm going to set that, and I'm going to grab all of this, and I'm going to inset it. Actually, I'm going to bevel it, which sounds odd, but I'm going to bevel it in and down so that it's actually inside like that. Click OK. So from the left view, that's sort of the inner portion of the ear, and then we can go through and manipulate those vertices in particular. So to sort of smooth them out, make them a little more natural. Like that. Bring that down. Don't worry about getting rid of all of these sharp edges. When we work on this, we are going to end up turbo smoothing it. So we're going to be able to smooth this out anyway. I just like to make sure that you've got the basic general shape. Grab those. Grab all of that actually. Move it up some. Cool. This is going to come up, and that's going to move in like that. And then we'll move it out like that. And put that in like that. And this needs to be brought out some more. Alright, cool. Alright. Good. At this point, it's just a matter of smoothing things out. The next thing I like to sort of implement is this section right here that sort of comes in a bit. Left. There's a couple different ways to do it. What I'm actually going to do, and it's like I said, it's kind of hard to see at the moment. I'm going to grab all of these and relax them a little bit. Relax. And then I'm going to grab this. I'm actually going to extrude it out on its own. And then I'm going to relax it a little bit. So I've got just that little nub that sticks out like that. Now, that's probably enough, actually. At this point, we've got the basic shape of the ear. Now what I like to do is throw another material on it. Hit M for material. Grab your gray material and sort of look at it from out here. From the front, make sure that it fits a little better. Probably bring that out around a little bit. This is probably going to come in a little bit. That. Look at it from a couple different angles. You could spend a whole lot of time making sure this looks perfect. I like to go ahead and bring this ridge in a little bit like that, just to sort of give it some more roundness. Like that. There you go. Now there's a ton of extra folds and things in the ear that you could fake. You could inset that so that you've got an actual inner, like a hole that goes into your head, like an ear. Although I think for today, I think that's probably a good place to stop. I don't want to get too complicated on it. We just have this basic ridge, and it's pretty close to an ear. Now, we do want to grab all of these verts. Grab all of these verts through here and make sure they're all the same face material. So they're all 5. It's going to give us some sort of weird shading, especially when we have multiple edges. But that's okay. Also, make sure that as you don't have any weird indentions here. This portion here especially is probably not a bad idea. Once you've got that roughly where you want it, I would relax it a bit. Alright, and then make sure it looks okay. Smooth that out. And make sure you don't have any weird crashing. F3, like this one. I don't want that being inside the head. Notice also I'm bringing this in a little bit. So the ridge, you can see the ridge, especially from the left. I want this ridge to be visible. And just like we talked about before, I want it to be attached in a way that I can see how the spokes move like our wagon wheel we talked about before. This probably can come out like that. This is going to be, I would try and make sure that this is smooth-ish, so we don't want any drastic changes. If you wanted to connect that to there, you probably could, but generally, that's pretty good. Like I said, you could get, there's a ton of geometry in the ear that you could work on if you wanted to. Alright, I think that's probably pretty good. So it's fast to sort of get a simple ear put together, and that's kind of what we were going for. Because eventually we are going to model this out. Let's look at it from the front and see how it looks. Not bad. Not bad. Now the ear, especially from the front view, is going to be slightly smaller than your art because it's further away. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Just get the general shape. I'm going to grow out that. Deselect this. Grow it again. Deselect all that. Look at it from the front. And if I want, I can move it on a larger scale like that. And move it around a little bit like that. And left view. And this I'm going to relax. Same with this and that. I'm not too concerned about behind the ear. When it comes to UVing, we're going to actually cut the ear off and take it from there. So we're going to have a hole that we're dealing with, and then we'll do the ear separately. We obviously don't want any hard edges. So that's basically it. Just to sort of check your work, let's look at it from the front. It's pretty close. Also, it's not a bad idea to use soft selection on here. F3 to make sure we're not getting anything we don't want. Make sure that comes down there like that. All right. Pretty close. Once again, don't cry yourself to sleep because your ears aren't attached like mine. It happens to some people, and it's sad, but, you know, it happens. Either way, you should be about done with your ear now, and you should be in pretty good shape. And that's basically it. We could try and put all these extra ridges in there if you really wanted to. You could take this whole section. There's like a whole other fold in the ear that can come out from there. If you really want to extrude it out, you could. I think we should probably keep it sort of simple rather than get too complicated on it, because that way when we end up smoothing this out, it'll be close enough. All right, I think that is it. I think I'm pretty happy with that for today. We can sort of push some final verts around and make sure it looks okay. And I think that's it. And that's it for the ear. If you have any questions or if you get stuck on something, don't forget you can drop a comment in the video comment section. That way I can answer it. I try to answer all of them. And that's it for today. I hope you liked your eerie ear. It's pretty cool like that. Looks okay. It looks kind of small from this angle, actually. Let's double check the size. Yeah, a little small. You could probably take that up a little bit like that. Grab that, move it out like that. Anyway, just constantly double check your work, make sure everything's looking okay. But what matters is you get the basic shape. Like that, and like that. There, in front. Come out a little bit. Great. That's basically it. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time. The next thing we're going to start doing is hair. Now, hair is crazy because we're going to have a whole bunch of other things to do because not everybody's hair is slightly different. Mine's actually really easy, but we'll talk about some other hair techniques that we can work on, at least for now. All right? Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.